everyone, and welcome for Bagcampus Power Camp 2021. We are going to learn about development in C programming. Welcome you all for our session. Today we are going to learn about pattern-based learning in C++. I am your trainer Rishabh Singh Suryavanshi. I welcome you again for this session. Let's get started with today's session. If you have missed up with our previous session, you can see it on our I button, or you can go with the description box, and please do that. See, we have described you with what is a for loop, what is a if loop, and these are going to be an important and basic concept for today's session. So hope so my screen is visible to you. I am using simply the same code editor which I have used in my previous session, which is a Internship IDE, which I'm using to code, compile, and run my C++ program. If you have missed our previous session, don't miss it. Okay, just click on I button. You will redirect there, right? I am using Likhavat code board editor for writing some stuff about today's code, right? So what I am going to do is our first means what we have to do today is we have to go with a basic pattern based question of the first one is a rectangular pattern based question. So let's explore it. So let's come to know about what is a rectangular based questions, right? So basically it comes a question that we have to draw a specific rectangle, right? We call a rectangle like this. We have something called as a column and we have something called as row. So if we are going to do it with our programming, so this will look like this. For example, I'm drawing a square. I'm drawing a square of 5 from 5 to 5. It will look like this. Okay, that you can see on my screen. So if it is a rectangle of 3 to 5, it will look like this. So how we are going to do that? So for that we have to run a for loop twice, right? First time when we will run a for loop, it will redirect us to this point, right? Then we have to run a simply slash n or endl. I'm going to prefer endl, right? Then we have to run the again a for loop which will run till this and till this. So for now I'm going to use a simple column in which I'm giving 5 columns and I want 5 rows. Okay, so I want simple program like this, and later we will try to draw some better type of rectangles, right? So for now I'm going to need a column 5 and a row 5 type of rectangle. So let's see how I make this, how I code this, right? So that you can come to know about it and you can write some code with more. So for that I am describing two variables. Firstly I am describing a simple variable column in which I'm describing call as a 5, and I am taking row as a 5, right? Now what I have to do is I have to run a for loop. You can use a snippet whether you are using Visual Studio Code, you can find it. I'm using this code editor because it will be very difficult for me to switch again and again, and it is a live session. So I'm using this code editor. You can use Visual Studio Code editor for it, right? So it will be very good for you. So what I want is I have to print it from 1 to whatever column we have, right? So these are the columns. So sorry, these are the rows. So I'm putting it for the rows, and now I'm using another for loop which will, I'm using an integer j here, otherwise it will give me a error. And the maximum amount of it is a column. Okay, so now what I have to use is a cout statement, and what I have to print is a star. Okay, I'm using an asterisk sign up here. Then as soon as this over, as we discussed, as soon as this over, we have to give a endl or slash n statement to open it in a new line. So I'm doing the same. I'm using a cout, and okay, there's no problem here. Okay, endl statement, right? So let's go and run this. You can take a screenshot of this code if you are facing some problems. So here we got a simple square, right? It is not looking good. So what I will do is I'll give a simple space here, and I'll give a simple space here. So let's see what type of rectangle we get. So we receive this type of rectangle, or we can say square. So if I will make changes in the number of columns or rows, if I made the columns as a 4 and rows as a 5, let's see what's the result we get. So we get this 4 is to 5 type of rectangle, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Understand. Hope so you understand all these points properly. So let's move to our second program that we have to run is writing a program for pyramid based questions. So for the pyramid, what pyramid we call as? So I'm sharing this board so that I can show you some type of pyramid we share. So similarly, we use a asterisk sign here. So I'm using a dot only for showing you. So for that, we have something like this. Okay. So the realization. So it became very difficult for you to go with it. If you're doing with me, then there's no problem. Okay. So we got some type of pyramid like this, which you can see on your screen, right? Then we have another pyramid which look like this. To use this. Oops, this is happening. Yeah, such type of pyramid we have. So it is looking just like a rectangle, right? A right angle triangle, right? This is a pattern. This is another pattern. Similarly, we have to draw a pyramid of this type, and we have to draw a pyramid of this type, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to complete this, and this one is going to be your assignment to do it. Okay. So you will understand these points and you can use it in your proper basics. So how we are going to do that, right? So I would like to show you that if we have a rectangle, so I'm using a white, sorry, a rectangle, right? So if we have a rectangle and if we have to draw like this, so this is not a triangle, right? So we are using a similar type of algorithm to go with and print a rectangle. So what I'm going to do is a simple program. I don't want the column now, so I'm hiding it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use I here. Okay, so let's see what's the output we get. So we have done with it, and here it is what we get output. It is a simple pyramid that we just check how it is doing that. How just I made a change of I and it is. So this is simple. If we have a for loop for the first problem, then we are going to run with uh, simply this type of rows we are going to make, right? So so for the first row, we have when I equal to 1, so it will work once and it will stop. Then I will be 2, right? Because I plus plus is going up here. So it will go with the 2 asterisk sign. Then we will move with I equal to 3, so it will become 3. And when I equal to become 4, that will go with the I equal to 4. So I should use like this sign to make it 5 times, right? Because when row is 5, we have to run this program also. So this type of rectangle we get, right? This type of triangle we get as an output. Hope so you understand what is the logic behind it. I just declared you when the I equal to 1, it prints for one time. I plus plus run, so I became 2, right? So it became, so for that what I have to do is I should use to show you what type of means how this code is working. So for that I'm just going with this. So I'm just showing you what is the value of I here. So I'll click on a run button. So you can see when I is 1, then it runs only once. Then I is 2, then this asterisk sign, or here what we have 2 run twice. Then if we have I equal to 3, it runs 3 times. I equal to 4, it runs 4 times. And when it is I equal to 5, it runs 5 times. Hope so this means completely make your mind to know about how we are writing this code, right? So what if I am using a j here? So let me show you what's the value of j. So for the first time, the j was 0, then it became 1, then it became 2, then it became 3, and then it became 4. So in place of j equal to 0, if I will go with the j from 1 and j less than I, so it will be properly visible pattern to you, right? So it was j was 1 for the whole row, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. Hope so you understand how I is working, how j is working with this pattern, right? And hope so you understand how we coded a rectangle and how we coded a pyramid, right? Now we have to move to a inverted half pyramid, right? So if I will meet you to this, so we have inverted pyramid pattern. So let's move to that. Okay, what is the inverted pyramid pattern? So in this is an inverted pyramid pattern. Okay, so this is an inverted pyramid pattern, and we have to draw an inverted pyramid pattern. Okay, so means the upper one. Okay, so this type of pattern we have to draw. So let's move to code. So for here you can see that we want the full rows, and we don't have to move to it, right? So what we have here is when I is equal to 5, sorry 1, when I is equal to 1, we want this as a 5. When I became equal to 2, then we want 4. So what if we will just make a change that if we will make I is equal to 5, then if we make I equal to 4, then we make I equal to 3. So isn't it will be the same as our previous session? Previous means sorry, previous pattern, right? It will be just similar to our previous pattern. So I will try to erase it. Okay. So I will try to erase it properly. And I would like to show you again what I'm going to tell you. So I'm just saying that here we have 5, right? Then we have 4. Then we have 3. Then we have 2. Then we have 1, right? So similar to that we have incremented the I or j, we can also decrement I or j. So see, in the similar way we can also go with from 5 to 1, right? So we are going to use a simple logic like that, and we are going to printing this pattern. So what I'm going to do is I am making I as the row value. Okay, and I want I should not exceed the value of 1. Okay, when it will work to 1 it should, and I have to decrement I. Okay, so without wasting our more time, I should run this code. Let's check. So I made some mistake here. So in place of giving it here, I should give it here. Okay. So I was talking and just doing it. So this thing happened. So let's check what is the output here. So we get a simple inverted pyramid. So you understand this. We have to draw a pattern of asterisk, right? So in place of this J, I would like to use a I in semicolon. So this will work to tell you about it. Yeah, this is what we have inverted pyramid. We are using simply the for loop. Okay, nothing else. Now, but we have to use if loop to have our next pattern that we have. So we have completed with this. We have completed with this. Now our third pattern is like this. So what this pattern is called as, so it is called as a half pyramid after 180-degree rotation. So sorry, this is going to be your homework, and we are going to do with this pattern, which is half pyramid. Okay, this one is pretty simple. So I think so you should do it in your assignment. Okay, this one is very simple to do, but I'm not going to show you. We are going to move with these type of half pyramid after 180-degree rotation. This is very simple, and you have to complete it in your assignment. So let's move to make our move, right? So similarly we can see that we are going to move from 5 4 3 2 1, right? But we have to give a specific spaces here. So here we will get one space, here we will get two spaces, here we will get in three spaces, right? Similarly here we are going to get four spaces, right? So didn't it is looking like a rectangle? So let's write a code for rectangle once again, right? So I will make some changes here. So we have to start from 1. We have to close it with when it is rows, and we have to increment it, right? Then similar one up here. So what? So in place of that, we want rows, right? So what this code look like? Okay, okay. So this is row, not rows. Okay, I made a name change. Okay, so we get a rectangle like this, square finally, right? So what we want is we want to go with the half pyramid after 180-degree rotation. So what I would like to go with is a if loop. So in the if loop, I'm going to put if the n is j is less than equal to rows minus I, then we have to see out a space, right? And else, if this condition is not satisfied, we have to move with a simple asterisk sign, right? So let's make a move and let's run this code. So we can find a simple program like this. We are getting a lot of spaces, right? So this doesn't work properly. So in place of rows, we have to use I here to have properly working, right? And then it is a greater than sign. Let's see what it makes. So we finally made a triangle pattern here, right? So I'm just telling you how this is going to work. So here it how we make a acute angle triangle, right? So hope so you understand about the code of acute angle triangle. Now we have to move it. Yeah, my voice is clear. Please make it clear in live chat. So we just learn how to make a triangle, and here it is how we made a half pyramid after 180 degree rotation. So we used it, and it is really a good type of code, right? So we are completed with our all of the today's session details. We have some more writing up here, like heart pattern in C++. Then we have diamond shape. Then we have arrow pattern, which I think that you can complete it because we have made all the proper knowledge of for loop and if loop. So you can finally check about it. Okay, how we have to make a heart pattern. So this will look like this. Okay, and something like this. Okay, then we have to move it. Okay. Yeah. So you can find the codes on various means on also I will put the code on PowerCamp website, but you can check it up here. So let's move to end of the session today. So before moving to end of session today, I'd like to show you about today's assignment. So the assignment of today is here on your screen. So the assignment is complete a program of following pattern like this, and we have write a C++ program to draw a diamond shape pattern. Okay, these are the two assignments, two questions in assignment for today. You have to make submission with powercamp.backcampus.n. Hope you made and enjoyed this session. Hope it is going to be a good and a very amazing session in future. So thank you for attending this session. It's great to be finding you as a our audience. Thank you, everyone.